So what is harder, running the country, diplomacy in Washington, or convincing Americans that Vegemite is edible and not all of our animals will kill you?
Definitely the third and the fourth.
Yeah. G'day, Raleigh. We're excited to be back in the podcast studio with a very special episode for today. We all know you love listening to our funny accent, so we've brought a special guest who sounds a little bit like us. Yes, we have a fellow Aussie in town, actually a VIP Aussie, and we're excited to talk about why Raleigh is on his radar. Now, he does come from our rival state of Queensland, and we're from New South Wales, so he's definitely going to sound a little funnier than us. We are honoured to be sharing the mics today with the former Prime Minister of Australia and now Australia's ambassador to the US, the Honourable Kevin Rudd. Welcome to Raleigh, Kevin. It's so great to sit down with you in a town that we feel we're ambassadors for.
That's great. Well, thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Craig. It's good to be here in Raleigh. I have a vast experience in Raleigh. It began this morning. So I have no background knowledge. I know we're in North Carolina. I'm here to see the governor. I've been seeing Australian businesses, and it strikes me as a great part of America.
It really is. We could live anywhere in the world, really, and we chose here. So
yes, we're Aussies, and we, as she said, we choose to be in Raleigh. So it ticks a lot of boxes.
Well, Research Triangle speaks for itself.
Oh, yeah.
I was at Duke University this morning. I gather we call it Duke here. Is that right? As opposed to Duke.
We actually commit that offence by always saying Duke.
Okay. Do Americans call it Duke?
I think that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for your listeners, it's Duke. Australian subcode, it is Duke. Anyway, I was at that university this morning speaking to a large bunch of students. It's a great university.
It really is very pretty.
Yeah, it's very impressive. They're also known as the Blue Devils. I'm a big sports guy, so
okay.
In college sports, they're the Blue Devils. And
were you a footballer back home?
Yeah, rugby league.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Who'd you play for?
The North Sydney Bears. Remember that?
Wow, the North Sydney Bears.
Feels like another lifetime ago in the early 90s, but and I'm glad to hear the Bears are back. Well, in the Perth Bears, which is very cool.
Are. I used to play rugby union as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 years until I worked out it used to hurt a lot, and then I stopped.
Yes, I'm still paying. I'm still paying for my my service to the game all these years later as well.
Well, we didn't wear the body armour so that you have in American football, and so it hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So and also I was just bad. Like I had
what position did you play?
Second row. They put all the dummies in the second row, and no eye-hand coordination to speak of. Well, I did have eye-hand coordination, just a 2-second gap.
Okay,
which is not good.
Not good.
So you went into tennis, I take it, by any chance?
Yeah, but connecting with the ball is a separate question. Yeah, some people are gifted with just this natural movement where they see where the ball's going. I have this sort of compute problem back in the back of my cerebral cortex, which says ball moving in this direct, ball gone.
Oopsie.
Yeah, I also read that you're a big Brisbane Lions fan. AFL, is that correct?
Absolutely. It's the local team. I have been at the Gabba, which is our local football ground and cricket ground actually in Brisbane many times, seen many games. They're doing well this season too. And in the good old days, when my kids were growing up, at half time you could go on and kick a football around.
I remember them days.
That's
right. Even from the league days, we used to be able to do that. Yeah.
And so when I was a local member of Parliament, I used to go down there with the boys, and then the folks in the grandstand would start a little chant, which is along these lines. Righty, stick to your day job. In other words, you know nothing about football, stop pretending.
It doesn't sound like Australians.
Well, the horses are taking that out of you.
Well, the Lions are the defending premiers, and they touched up our Sydney Swans in the grand final last year.
Yeah, we call that social justice. And no, they're a great team, and because Americans may not quite understand this, Australia is balkanised in terms of its football. So you're looking at rugby union being played, for example, primarily in smaller parts of Sydney and in Brisbane. You're looking at rugby league played extensively across the state of New South Wales and the state of Queensland. Australian football played everywhere else, and then there's the round ball game. And so for 27 million people, we're pretty confused about what sort of football we play.
Yeah. How would you explain Australian rules football to Americans? Like there's no sport here quite similar. The only other sport, I guess, is like Gaelic football in Ireland.
But it's a bit like that. So my father always used to call it aerial ping pong. And so it's a light tackle game, as you know, as opposed to rugby or rugby league, which you played, which knocks you around a fair bit. So that's one advantage. It's fast moving, and you score only with the boot. So it produces great punters who, as you know, in some cases find themselves landing in America to play in the big league here.
Yeah, there's a lot in the college football scene, actually. I was watching Miami versus Notre Dame the other night, and the Miami punter was an Aussie. And there's quite a few in the pros as well, so which is cool.
That's true. And, having a good punter in the team is a pretty useful thing. I'm hoping to go to Notre Dame soon and watch a game up there.
Oh, fun.
Oh, yeah, it'd be phenomenal.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a deeper dive into your role as an ambassador.
I didn't do it.
It wasn't me.
And how North Carolina fits into your visit. But just for some more context, can you briefly share what you are doing in Raleigh and first impressions, although it has been brief, as you mentioned?
Yeah, well, I have got to know Governor Stein pretty well, the governor of the state. We have this thing called the National Governors Association, which brings together each year all the governors of all the states. So recently they had a gathering out in Colorado.
Nice.
The president of the National Governors Association is the current governor of Colorado, Governor Polis. So they asked me to come along and speak to them all. I spoke to them about China. That's my kind of field of professional expertise. I'm a professional student of Chinese language, history, culture, politics, foreign policy, and things that go bang and pop. So I spoke to all the governors about that, and Governor Stein said, we'd like to talk to you in Raleigh. So we're getting together this evening with a small reception with the governor, members of his cabinet, together with, we have probably about 10 or 15 significant Australian companies invested here in North Carolina. I've just been out to see one of them. And on top of that, we'll be sitting down for a bite with the governor's team afterward to look at future investment opportunities in both directions. As you know, it's also a big research precinct. And so what happens in the research triangle, you'll find multiple university-based research projects, innovation projects being partnered with Australian Ivy League universities. So the research collaboration is strong. The investment relationship is good. There's about $1 billion in trade between the state and Australia, overwhelmingly in North Carolina's favour. That's for you guys who are listening to this podcast. But we actually like the stuff you produce, so that's great.
Awesome.
And what's most attractive, do you think, for Australian businesses wanting to come to North Carolina in particular?
We've got a highly qualified workforce. For example, the company I've just visited, NuFarm, is a Melbourne-based company. It specialises in crop protection and in seed technology. And so they are 2,500 employees around the world, 500 across the United States, and growing and growing and growing. They're kind of the farmer's friend. That is, if you're going out to plant, you've got to make sure your seed is in the best condition possible so you don't lose it through a sudden, weather variation. And you've got to correct it from bugs and things that munch it up in the end. So, for example, that company, NuFarm, has found the availability of highly qualified staff here in the Research Triangle really good to work with and great collaborators. So that's just one example. But our companies investing here in North Carolina cover the spectrum.
Is there any industry in particular?
No, they're wide-ranging from agriculture through mining, technology, pharmaceuticals, you name it, they're engaged in.
Yeah, I think North Carolina has a very diverse and resilient economy, which is one attraction. And I was just reading they got the top state to do business in the last 3 out of 4 years, and ranking the 4th fastest growing state in the country.
Certainly the state has a great reputation across the United States. You hear, like I'm now based in Washington, D.C., because I'm the ambassador. But prior to that, I lived for 6 or 7 years in New York as president of a think tank called the Asia Society. Certainly, I have long heard about the positive investment environment, business environment down in this part of the world. So whatever you're doing here locally, you're doing it well.
Yeah.
Well, many people may not know what an ambassador does, and I'm guessing it's not
I'm
quite
trying to
like
work it
The
out.
Diplomat.
You got any ideas?
I think it's like The Diplomat, the Netflix series.
Yeah, it is.
So you live on the edge of your seat every single day.
Wondering what's going to happen.
Yeah, I love it. Can
I
you
know
share
what's
what that day-to-day life is like
No,
for
it's classified.
classified information? I really thought we were going to get some secrets.
I've always wanted to be an ambassador, like a sporting ambassador or travel ambassadors.
My lips are sealed. No, there's no great mystery to this. I'm sent here by the Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese. He and I have known each other for 25 years. I used to be Prime Minister of Australia, so he was in my cabinet. Now I'm working for him. So having a clear understanding of what his and the government's priorities are is important. Secondly, prosecuting core projects here, for example, in defence and security, are working on this thing called AUKUS. What's AUKUS? Stands for Australia, UK, US. What's that mean? It means that Australia is about to invest in a bunch of US-built nuclear-powered conventionally armed submarines. This would be a multi-billion-dollar project over time. And then, after we've purchased 3 to 5 of those boats here in the United States, we will also then be building our own in Adelaide in South Australia.
Wow, that's incredible.
So this is a massive defence project, a massive defence investment project, and project of investment in the US industrial base. We're in fact ourselves putting in $3 billion into the US shipbuilding base to make sure that these subs can be produced on time. So what does my job involve? Working with the administration, State Department, Pentagon, National Security Council, the relevant congressional committees, Senate Armed Services Committee, House Armed Services Committee, and other officials on taking that agreement and implementing it in practice. So that, plus what we're doing with critical minerals and rare earths, Australia equals the periodic table.
Yeah,
remember when you were at high school, that thing at the beginning of your science book that had everything, PB, lead, and all those other things. And then, well, for our American friends, that equals the map of Australia.
Yes.
It's not because we're particularly clever, it's just we've got a very old continent, and most of this stuff is quite near the surface. But we have the world's most advanced mining companies, and we've been doing it for 150 years. So working with the United States to overcome any vulnerabilities which the US has in terms of its access to rare earths, which are critical inputs for defense products, for the production of silicon chips, as well as other critical technologies. That's something else we work on. So before coming in here today, I was on the phone talking to somebody in the National Security Council half an hour ago about this. Wow. So that's what you do.
Wow. So you are on the edge of your seat.
No, it's just what you do. So don't believe the television. Did you see that one recently about the Australians in the White House in that state dinner where this is a movie, a Netflix movie where someone got bumped off?
No.
All right.
Do you know the name of that? Is it new?
I'm looking around at my staff. None of them know. It's relatively new, and it's bad.
It's bad.
The Australians get up to really bad stuff.
Really?
No,
not us Aussies. Come on. We're well behaved.
Doesn't sound like us at all.
And we will behave between Monday and Friday.
Yeah.
This was
Work hard, play hard.
This was a Saturday dinner. Yeah.
So you mentioned
we'll get you the name for that by the end of this.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we need.
It'll be in the show notes because I know everyone wants to watch it.
We're running out of things to watch. But you mentioned you're a global authority in China and your experience in the region and speak fluent Mandarin, I believe.
Yeah, and I can order takeaway.
Okay, there you go.
It's very important.
Important priorities.
I started learning Chinese when I was about 17 or 18. I did 5 years at university, then studied for a while in Taiwan, then ended up working at our embassy in Beijing.
Okay.
And for quite a number of years, and lived in Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Taipei, places like that. So I've been around the traps, but that was back in the Mesolithic period.
We're going strong.
Yeah.
So
dinosaurs were still roaming the earth.
I believe you attended Duke University for a fireside chat this morning. And how do you think about Duke? And is there anything about the Indo-Pacific region that you like North Carolinians to take away?
Well, the Centre for Asia Pacific Studies at the university today brought together a group of scholars and a group of undergraduate students in a seminar. And I was quite impressed just by the level of attendance, the level of expertise, kids from right across the world. Ran into two from Melbourne.
Wow.
And the serious study of A, China, B, Japan, C, India, D, Southeast Asia, and of course our part of the world in Australia. So it was a great seminar, and the kids did themselves proud. And I've got to say, it's a first-class academic institution when you look at the range of academic faculties which are at Duke, quite apart from its extraordinary architecture and being...
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
If it's not an Ivy League, it should be.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. Did you get into the chapel?
Yeah, I did. It didn't burn down when I walked.
It's a good
No,
sign.
it's phenomenal. We want to get out there for the Christmas, the holiday events they have inside the chapel.
All right, okay.
Apparently the acoustics in there are phenomenal.
It's for me reminiscent of King's College, Cambridge. It's obviously King's College, Cambridge is 500, 700 years old, but this is not. It's 100 years old, but its architectural elegance is in the same tradition.
Yeah. I don't want to keep harping back to sports, but just quickly, did you know that
I didn't kick a football in there.
the starting point guard for Duke last year was an Aussie, Tyrese Proctor?
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's happened to Tyrese Proctor?
He's in the NBA. He got drafted, I could be wrong, Cleveland Cavaliers. I could be wrong on that.
Wow.
That's correct.
Okay.
Tyrese, yeah.
There's a stack of Australians in American football teams and basketball teams and
We're doing well.
across sport and professional sport in this country. I've also run into Australian companies who specialise in sporting events management. They've taken their expertise out of Oz and are now working on redevelopments of stadiums and how do you make event spaces really work effectively as well. So, yeah, we love our sport in Australia.
We sure do.
And whereas you were good at sport and I was not.
Good at watching.
Yeah, I'm good at watching. So
I mean, pound for pound, look like our population compared to the rest of the world. Like we always compete highly at the Olympics or nationally in a lot of great sports. So
I'm more of a handball player myself.
it's a fast game.
The school handball?
Yeah, have you seen my handball training
quadrangle
videos?
back in the days?
Yeah.
They don't play that in America.
No, they don't. I'm about to introduce it to the country. In Australia during COVID, I did a series of handball training videos for kids. You know how kids were going nuts.
Yeah.
So I introduced myself each training video by saying I'm Kevin Rudd, the handball king. I vaguely remember playing it at high school. And then when I was Prime Minister, I think I visited a school. And these kids, Brisbane State High School, I remember the day, she yelled out and said, Ruddy, get your beep, beep, beep over here. This is to the Prime Minister, by the way. And because we're going to beat your...
Did you take
So this brought back memories of playing handball as a kid. So I got onto the court. And these were kids probably in the 9th or 10th grade. I smashed them.
I love it.
Just smashed them.
So
this really rekindled my competitive spirit.
I love it.
Yeah, no doubt. It made a mean backhand, I'm sure.
So I have played handball tournaments in about 20, 30, 40, 50 Australian schools.
Wow.
And I did recently a demonstration match with Admiral Murray, the head of our defence staff, in the atrium of the embassy in Washington, which you can see on my Twitter postings.
I love it. It's so great. I love the way you're educating people about Australia, and part of your visit here with Governor Josh Stein is with the idea of strengthening the relationship between Australia and the the US. So what do you see of the role of Australians living in the US like us in helping to strengthen those ties and that relationship?
The good thing, what I've discovered since living in America myself, and since leaving political office in Australia, I have lived most of the time in America, last 10 years. Boston for a year. I was at Harvard at the Kennedy School. 6 or 7 years in New York, and now a couple of years in Washington, D.C. I'm working my way south, Raleigh next stop.
Yep.
There you go.
And so, but what I've just had the privilege of doing is just meeting Australians doing all sorts of different things right across this country. We've just been talking about what Australians are doing in sport. You know, then there's movies. It's not just Keith Urban, Nicole Kidman, and a whole bunch of others, but right across the movie industry in this country, there are Australians everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of young ones coming up.
And a whole bunch who are taking Hollywood by storm. And, yeah, they love being here because, we share so many cultural similarities while laughing at each other's differences.
Yeah.
And particularly the American mispronunciations of English.
Yes, exactly. They do such a bad job of speaking English, don't they?
Yeah. True. But then you go out into business and just the entrepreneurs are at work. For example, the last couple of weeks I was in both Silicon Valley and up in Seattle visiting the Magnificent Seven, the big AI companies, tech companies. You couldn't sit down with one of those major boardroom presentations, either CEOs or deputy CEOs, without there being a couple of Australian software engineers in the room who had found their way into working with Google or NVIDIA or with Microsoft or whomever. Then you go to the rest of what's happening in bio, for example, where you've got a very large life sciences sector in Australia, with major 4 or 5 world-leading life sciences research centres, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and elsewhere. And these folks are all through Massachusetts, they're here. And then the general economy and defence industries, for example, spoke before about submarines. The two countries have just recently agreed to reduce the red tape between Australian and US defence industrial firms. So we've now got hundreds of American firms and hundreds of Australian defence firms collaborating for the first time on common defence projects, leading-edge drone technology, leading-edge unmanned systems, and autonomous undersea vehicles. So what I am impressed by is you roll around the country, you're constantly running into Australians who are doing interesting, innovative, new things across the board, and they like America. Yeah. And they like being in this country, just as I think Americans like it when they visit down under.
Yeah. I agree. And we absolutely love living here and have always felt at home as soon as we came here and felt very welcomed, and we love being able to represent our own country while living in here, but also share America and Raleigh in particular to people outside of the country.
There's not a lot of there's not as many Aussies around the Raleigh area, I guess, as say DC or New York or LA, but you meet them like working in like UNC and Duke Hospital or RTP, the Research Triangle Park, and there's a big tech and startup network here as well. So we're sprinkled through everywhere.
I think so. On any given day of the week, I think I've looked at some data which said we've got about 150,000 Australians rolling around this country doing something or other.
That's great.
So, I assume most of them are behaving.
I wouldn't make that assumption.
If not, send me an email.
Just on
we'll let the embassy
behaviour. On behaviour. So who throws the best party? America on July 4th or Australia on Australian Day?
I think they're quite different. When you think about it, it's kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
July 4, Declaration of Independence, telling the Brits basically to bugger off. That's what it was. And I'm reading another history of the Revolutionary War period and latter days of George III's imperial reign over this country before the Bostonians got upset about the price of tea and the taxes on tea and taxation without representation, and leading to the solemn declaration on the 4th of July. And if you read the document, it's an extraordinary document. So that's what they celebrate. What do we celebrate? There's a bunch of crims being set down under. And so the first fleet down under, which is about 1,200 people. And my forebears were on the second fleet in 1790.
Oh, really? Wow.
I often say to Americans, had you guys lost the Revolutionary War, then the Brits would not have lost their favourite criminal colony, which was in Savannah in Georgia. And the Brits would not have had the need to then send their crims down under.
Down under, that's right.
And I could have grown up in Georgia and become the governor of Georgia instead.
There you go.
So we've liberated Americans from that point.
Well, you're slowly making your way down that way, it seems.
All the way to Florida soon.
Well, I have a serious question for you. You've had quite the career, Prime Minister of Australia, Foreign Minister, Ambassador to the US. So what is harder, running the country, diplomacy in Washington, or convincing Americans that Vegemite is edible and not all of our animals will kill you?
Definitely the third and the fourth.
Yeah.
Particularly if you've seen some of our drop bears
That is
wielding a Vegemite sandwich as they scream towards you. If they don't drop on you, then they'll asphyxiate you with Vegemite. What a way to go. But you must enjoy being here in America when everyone, once they find out you're Australian, automatically goes on to the wild beasties down there.
It's the most
It's every
common
conversation.
Snakes,
Spiders,
things that bite you and kill you, crocodiles, sharks. To which I say, yep, I come from a state where we've got all of those. We've got crocs, we've got sharks, we've got spiders. I grew up on a farm, there's snakes everywhere. I'm alive.
Yes, that's what we always say. Hey, we're still alive.
Yeah, that's right. Redback spiders in the toilet bowls.
That's true.
Like funnel webs in the pool filters.
I mean, you might have to, rip a few snakes apart with your bare teeth, but that's just part of growing up, isn't it?
Just another day in Queensland.
Almost every American, because we have an international travel website as well, and they're like, I'd love to go to Australia, but I don't want to die. You have so many things that are going to kill you. And we're kind of like, forget the spiders and the snakes and the crocs. You got to worry about the swooping magpies.
Yeah. Well, I'd been attacked by those in the past as a kid. It sort of drew blood out of my head. I remember it very well.
Maybe was it on the cricket field or riding a bike or something?
Oh, I think it was just riding a bike around the farm property.
That's a common one.
Yeah, that's what happens. But this is the one that really terrifies Americans when you tell them we have a bird called a cassowary.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it basically can conduct personal vivisection.
Yes.
Like,
Exactly.
cheep, cheep, cheep. Hello, I'm a cassowary. And then it becomes Edward Scissorhands.
Yes. We have been to the Daintree rainforest and stuff, but from a safe distance.
What a pretty bird that is.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Until you upset it.
So,
it's amazing.
So I must admit, of all the beasties we've got in Australia, it's the cassowary that terrifies me most. But then again, that's from my home state too. The croc doesn't get you getting onto shore, and the cassowary is there waiting, just tapping its paws on the rock,
strategic
saying, lunch.
Yeah.
Apart from that, my American friends, we're waiting for you down under. It's perfectly safe.
Absolutely.
2 movies and a sleep, by the way.
Yeah.
So when Americans say to me, oh, but it's so far. Come on, guys. 2 movies and a sleep. That's what it takes.
There you go. It's worth going to paradise. It's worth a long flight.
Yeah.
Oh, Ambassador Rudd, it's been great having you join us on the podcast on your quick whirlwind tour of Raleigh. We're excited to chat with you. One of the things we love living in Raleigh is we get to be an ambassador of sorts like you. We're not living on the edge of our seat day to day, but we're certainly doing our best to share our both our homes, Australia and Raleigh. So thanks for coming to chat with us today on the podcast.
Happy to do it, Carolyn. Happy to do it, Craig. What brought you to Raleigh in the first place?
I joined a cultural teaching exchange program and was randomly placed in a school about 40 minutes from here. We hadn't really even heard of Raleigh.
Did they need a simultaneous interpreter?
Yes. My kids just sat there. They were so quiet. Would just listen to me talk. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And you came along.
I did. Yeah. No, Raleigh got under our skin almost instantly, and it's a great place to be. A great East Coast hub. Close to the mountains, close to the beaches, halfway between New York and Florida. The flights are getting better. Great food, great people.
I got to say, the airport in Raleigh this morning impressed me.
Yeah.
It's a manageable size.
Yeah.
And it's well connected.
Yeah.
around the country, and that's a really good thing. Sometimes you travel through American cities where the airports are just too big.
Yeah.
One thing
Just
goes
not
wrong
attractive.
and the whole system sort of
Falls
implodes.
apart, yeah.
How far is it to the beach from here?
2 hours.
Okay, good.
Just on that quickly, besides being fellow Australians, we have another interesting connection. Our eldest daughter was actually born in Nambour Hospital.
Really?
Yeah, and it's hard to believe, but this is in 2007, so she's turning 18 next week, and we just dropped her off to college at UNC Wilmington, which is near the beach. So which we love.
Wilmington, that's right, I've seen it on the map.
Wilmywood, as they call it as well.
Wilmywood, yeah. Well, she was born in
Nambour Hospital.
Nambour General. Could have been delivered by my sister-in-law, even my brother. All of whom have been nurses there.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah,
That's true. My mother was a nurse. She nursed during the war. After my father died in an accident when I was a kid, Mum retrained as a nurse, so she also nursed in Nambour.
Awesome.
At the private hospital, but my siblings all nursed at the public hospital.
Yeah. Kalira is
And I was born there.
Yeah. Kalira is our daughter's name, which is an Australian Aboriginal name.
Oh, right.
It means a wild and pleasant place.
A wild and pleasant place.
Yeah. And
Yeah, that's Australia.
yeah.
Yes, it is.
That's code language for drop bears, which will be
Wielding Vegemite sandwiches.
with cassowaries looming on the
Yes.
on the horizon.
Do not be afraid.
Tearing down there.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
down there.
Thanks again, as Caroline said. And we'll actually be at the reception at Governor
good.
Stein's this afternoon. And we're going to do a slang off between you and him, see if he can understand some Australian slang and vice versa.
Oh, great.
So that should be
Okay.
fun.
We shall work on that.
Yeah.
Thanks, folks. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of the This Is Raleigh podcast. You can find show notes, episode guides, and resources at thisisraleigh.com and our current finds on Instagram at thisisraleigh.
Subscribe to our podcast for new updates and episodes on the vibrant Raleigh lifestyle. We'd love for you to leave a review and share us with your friends. See you in the next episode.